Welcome to Daily Conversation. This is okay.
This is Eric.
Yeah, today is the 19th of November 2021, and the time now is 6:16 a.m. Well, our topic today is some people feel they are smart at an early age, but not anymore. Do you have the same feeling? Why? All right, so before we get started, please click the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, so here we go. Okay, yeah, for this one, it made me think of one of the proverbs in Chinese. It is 小时了了，大未必佳, and which is the meaning of like you feel yourself being smart when you are young, and then but after that, when you grew up and you may not be that successful as you expect. Yeah, and uh, to answer the second part of the first part of the question, which is, do I have the same feeling? Um, for me personally, I I think when I was in the primary school, I my uh, I get quite a good result in school. And after that, when I was in secondary school, especially uh, after the first uh, after the first and second year in the secondary school, yeah, my result actually keep going down. So I think maybe a little, yeah. If I treat my primary school as I was young at the early age, and if I treat the secondary school age uh, is something like not the early age, then I have this kind of feeling. Yeah, and then yeah. So let's talk about why. Yeah, the second part of the question. Yeah, I think here, firstly, it has got two reasons. Yeah, the first reason is at an early age, yeah, maybe we really kind of smarter than other people. And then so that in that case, we may not spend much effort, and then we can get kind of a good result. Yeah, and for other people, maybe they work harder, but they are not that smart, so they couldn't get a good result as yours. Yeah, so this is one of the reason. And how about after a few years? After a few years, if you still like uh, not paying so much effort, hard work, and still using your kind of like smartness. And how about other people? Maybe other people they over the years they work hard, and then they gain uh, much knowledge along the years, and they started to overtake us, and then because we still haven't put in so much effort, and the so-called smartness when we were young may not support um, may not support us uh, as we grew up. Yeah, because we didn't improve much. Yeah, so this is the first reason I can think of. And the second reason is uh, mostly when we talk about smart at an early age, we judge this based on the um, kind of like the result in the school in the exam, those kind of academic success. And if we compare these uh, with maybe after we finish secondary school or we graduate, from college or university. Yeah, if we compare this to after we finish school, then I think this is something um, a bit. There's got some problem here, which is academic success may not necessarily be the key factor of success um, of our success after graduation. So it could be like academic success is just academic, and yeah, this is of course the other situation, which is we compare in the school and finish school. Yeah, so these are my thinking for this topic.
Yeah, I have two questions, and the first question is how do you define smart? And then the second is, just now you say this is not wise to compare uh, current current life, which after graduate and
Mm,
so when we pursue the academics performance before graduate. And
mm.
if it is not wise to compare, and how do we compare? Yeah, so go for the first one first. How do you define smart?
Um, Smart is people that can uh, understand things more easily. They can learn faster. Uh, Sometimes they can learn by themselves and understand it quickly. Yeah.
Mm, yeah. And mm, okay, so we in Chinese we have one of the old saying and translated into English is something like mm, the wisdom, the wisdom versus the knowledge. So wisdom in Chinese, which means the 智慧, and
Mm,
knowledge in Chinese means the 知识. And normally we say wisdom is more important than the the knowledge. And uh, do you think smart is towards uh, wisdom or towards the knowledge?
uh, what do you mean towards? Is it mean something like greater than?
No, I mean okay. Do you think there's any relationship between smart, wisdom, and knowledge?
Um, yeah, I think, like you said, wisdom is somehow like is something greater than knowledge
Mm-hmm.
and also smart. But
No, they are not the
yeah,
same thing. I mean, actually, they are not the same thing. You use smart, you use your ability, which is the smartness to cultivate wisdom or cultivate the knowledge, right?
um, yeah. So in that case, it's like smart is the 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 ability, the capability of ourselves, and uh, it is a gift, right?
Yeah, yeah, you can say that. And my question
Hmm.
is smart more towards to wisdom or more towards to knowledge,
Oh,
which means if we have the smartness, we have this ability. Which one, wisdoms or knowledge, is more easier to cultivate? It's more easier to gain.
um, yeah, I am not sure for this one. I
Uh,
have no idea for uh yeah.
why you have no idea?
Um, Yeah, I think that the main reason should be I don't know the what make wisdom different from knowledge, and uh yeah, I think it's because of this problem.
Mm. And okay, and how about the knowledge? For example, some people say experience
Mm,
versus knowledge, and which one is more important, right?
yeah.
Yeah. And you can imagine like wisdom is the the knowledge, and then you know how to apply.
Mm,
You know the know why, you know the know how. You not only know the know what, which is the knowledge.
mm,
So it's more toward the application. It's more about the implications.
yeah.
And sometimes wisdom is it just simpler simpler than the knowledge because this is kind of like uh yeah try to use one of the analogy. For example, you have a mathematical questions and you need to work out for the question, and then this is a difficult question, so
Mm,
you have to like uh do a lot of use a lot of formula to calculate, and then spend long paragraph to do the equations, and then at the end you found that the equations, if you plus minus, if you cancel off uh the left side of the equation and the right side of the equation, you cancel out both, and then you maybe you do some adjustment, and then up, and at the end, so the last two line of the equation is equal to is 1 plus 1 equal to 2. So actually the whole answer for the equation is 2.
mm,
Yeah. So, but you need to work out a long uh, formula in order to get the last second line, which is 1 plus 1, yeah, equal to 2.
yeah.
And then the last line, which is you prove that okay, this equation is correct. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes in our secondary school, we have some question which is we need to prove whether this equation is true or false, right?
Yeah.
So this is what I refer to.
Mm,
So uh, you can see knowledge is maybe knowledge is a is the is a is a part you work out the whole things, and the wisdom is the last two line, which is you already know it will it will lead to this it will lead to this answer. It will lead to this 1 plus 1 equal to 2.
mm,
So the whole equation must be true. So you acquire uh, some of the ability, they're able to see inside, they're able to have an insight into the deep and profound uh, 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 the nature, have a profound understanding of the on the nature of the thing, of the star.
mm,
Yeah, yeah. So I think this is the difference between the wisdom versus the knowledge.
mm,
Just give you one of another example. Uh, Try to move this mathematics to EV, to electric vehicle.
yeah.
And when most of the company still focus on the lidar radar, and Tesla already abandons lidar radar and just using the camera uh, to capture the visions, just using the visions uh, to to train the vehicle, to train the AI to drive the car. Yeah, and but you still have to go through the process. Maybe you need to test and write. Maybe you need to test a uh, radar. You need to test the lidar radar, and then you also need to use the camera, the visions, and then uh yeah uh but the theory and the thing is so simple, which like Elon Musk said, human don't have lidar, don't have radar in our body functions. We only have visions, and we use visions to drive the car. Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, and and human have blind spots, and AI, the self-driving car don't have blind spots. Because we got add camera.
Mm.
Yeah, so it should be enough for it should be enough for AI to learn how to drive a car by just depending by just relying on the visions. Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, of course, now we still don't know whether Elon Musk, whether Tesla is doing right. Yeah, maybe in
Mm.
future they will have a bottleneck. Yeah, but I choose to believe Elon Musk because if you look at the progress of the self-driving of the AI in driving, and Tesla and Elon Musk, Tesla have the uh, have the most data, have the most uh, piece of data, and Tesla is the first, and the gaps between the first and the second is just huge. Yeah, more than you can imagine. The data quantity, the volume of data is the gaps is so huge. And
Mm.
if you say Tesla couldn't success, who can success? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. And if Tesla, mm, maybe after gaining the data, after have those volume data, and Tesla and Elon Musk can really prove that, can really understand that, because they have the data support to know that, yeah, my assumption is correct. Yeah, AI don't need radar, don't need lidar, don't need radar, just need visions. Yeah, so it could be also the wisdom, mm, compared to the knowledge, like like, mm, a self-driving car maybe need lidar, need radar, and how to do it. Yeah, how to do it, how to combine it, and how to make the self-driving car really able to self-drive. Yeah. Mm,
Mm.
yeah. And if you don't know about the wisdom, we can change. Yeah, we can change to experience. For example, knowledge versus experience. Mm, yeah. So do you think smart is more towards to the knowledge or more towards to the experience?
Um, Smart is more towards yeah, if I still think smart is something like the ability to learn fast, to understand fast, I think it is more towards knowledge.
Mm. Then what cultivate experience?
Experience require our uh, actions. Yeah, we need to try it. We need to experience it. We need to do it, and after that, we gain the experience.
The knowledge don't require you to take actions.
Knowledge is required us to learn that.
Learning is also one of the actions,
Mm,
and this is the most difficult action for most of the people.
mm, yeah, so
Mm.
I should say maybe like uh, is application for knowledge. It is the learning and experience require us to apply the uh, um, apply the knowledge, or yeah, I think it's apply the knowledge, or to uh, yeah, it's applied to what you want to do. You apply the knowledge to what you want to do.
You mean the experience?
Yeah.
Then does this process don't need smartness?
Um, yeah, it also require
Mm,
yeah, because once you have done something, then maybe it is like not very successful, and you face a lot of challenges, and in that case, yeah, it requires you to like how to deal with it, and if you cannot deal with it, and you just know that if you do this and you get this result, and yeah, that kind of experience maybe uh, couldn't make you improve and go further. So it also requires uh, our smartness to understand why, to learn why we couldn't get success.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, then yeah, how about the second questions? Uh, the first question is the definition of smart, and the second is just how you say, it's not wise to compare, uh, to compare our life, our success, using using our current life, which is when we pursue the career, when we have a job, versus that, versus that, we don't have a job, we still pursue the academic, we still in a
Mm.
college or university or in secondary school. Mm. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So just now you say it's not wise to compare like this, right?
Yeah.
Then how can we compare?
Um, um, yeah, I think in during school, yeah, the academic result is just um, I think it's something like already has a system and everybody do the same thing, and yeah, this is for academic, and after graduation, after that, and when talk about your career, your job, your work, and uh, actually nobody design a way for you uh, to what to do, and it all depends on yourself, whether you want to do this, you want to do that, and uh, yeah. So this is, I think, the difference.
Yeah. If this is the case, when we are in the school and people have the system and want us to follow, and do things in this case, uh, in this case, if we say that, uh, if we smarter, and then we are able to achieve a higher academic result, is uh, is this kind of scenario deserve to describe as a smartness? Because we just need to follow the the system.
Mm, yeah, I think I yeah, get quite confused uh for this one.
Do you understand my question?
Yeah, actually not really.
Uh, yeah. So if you don't understand my question, how can you say you are confused on this question? Because you don't know about this question.
Mm,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah. So you are not telling uh what is in your mind. Mm.
Mm.
And can you try to explain my question? Yeah, actually, I know my description about this question is not very good. Mm.
Okay. Yeah. Since just now we say during academy we have a system to follow, and then um yeah. So when there is a system to follow, uh, uh, whether can smart person perform better than those uh, not so smart person.
Yeah, yeah. This is one of perspective. Another perspective is if there's a system to follow, is smartness and also is smart people really have the competitive advantage over other people. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So because there is a system to follow, and just like you say, you need to take actions, and then you take action, then you gain the knowledge. Yeah, people work harder, people do more exercise, will achieve will achieve a higher result,
Mm.
will get better result. And yeah, you just need to spend more time. You just need to spend more effort. And in this situation, uh, yeah, is it deserved to call smart for those people who achieve a better result?
Um, yeah, I think even though there is a system, but the way to prepare for, let's say, the exam or the test, it still depend on the student themselves.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
I understand your point, but now if you explain like this, uh, the whole thing flips in to another way around. Yeah, the coin, the the head turn to the head turn to the tail, because uh just now you say in secondary school or in primary school, and we think we are smarter, and just now you say you think in primary school you are smarter than you are in secondary school because your result is higher, your result is better.
mm,
And then if like you explains uh 1 or 2 minute goals, which is yeah, study and following a system also required the smartness, which is you need to know how to study, and there's a system to follow. And what if there's no system to follow, like our current life after graduate? Is it require a greater degree, greater level of smart?
um, yeah, I think
Yeah, if this is the case, and
you need to know.
hello, hello, bad
Yeah, yeah,
connection. Yeah,
yeah, no.
last sentence.
Mm. Yeah, you
Hello.
need to know. Yes, yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, can.
Mm. Yeah, I think without a system, you need to know what you want to achieve, what you want to do.
Mm, but if you're following a system, you also need to know what you want to achieve. Yeah, and not only that, you also need to know how to achieve. And with a system, then you have some law and reference. And without a system, you need to try to understand the nature of law, the law of nature, and try to find the trends, try to find the similarity, try to look back to history, try to see the data, try to understand, and try to use the history to as a reference for your future.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah. So if in this case, if we have if without system, we require a greater degree of smartness, and then the point doesn't make sense. Yeah, and you say we cannot compare, and also the whole point is turned another way around. When you say we cannot compare, it's not wise to compare uh, before graduate and after graduate study life and work life. It's not wise to compare because study life require you to take action, require to do, and when you are study, you just need a little smart, and then you can outperform other people. And but now, if this is the case, if you are in a if we our system, you require greater degree of smartness, and then it actually means that it's also not wise to compare because when you are in college, when you are in studies, and you just need to take action, you just need to follow the system, you just need to study, you just need to do more exercise, then you can get better result because most of people don't do that. And when it comes to real life, when you after graduate, you go to work, and then there's no system for you to follow. Yeah, and it actually require a greater smartness to understand the system so that you can play the game like you play when you are in college. So in this case, take action can give you the result. Otherwise, you just work on the wrong directions. Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So what's your opinion on that?
Um, Actually, I think I I agree with this, but you say this is like the another I flipped the topic already, right?
I mean, you flip your point. Yeah, flip your point already. And the point you flip is actually opposite. Have have the opposite conclusions.
So it is like when we were studying, smartness isn't that important, and efforts is the key. And after graduation, smartness take greater uh, portions of the success factor. Is it like that?
Yeah, this is what it means. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with this. And previously, my point isn't like that. Yeah, that's true. My point is like when studying, uh, some people are smart so that they get better result. And yeah, that was my previous thinking.
Mm. But is your point really wrong?
Um,
Because in when we are when we are in college, when we are in primary and secondary school, we did see a lot of people. They don't study hard, but they can
mm,
achieve better result, right?
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So can this call smart? I think yes, right?
Yeah, just like you say, the way of study,
Mm,
the way of putting effort in. Yeah. But if a smart person don't take action, don't study completely, don't spend time to study, can they achieve better result?
mostly not.
Yeah. Mm. And how about after graduate, and then can smart can you rely on just smart? You also cannot, right? And also, can you just rely on the taking action? You cannot, because you see a lot of people just know how to work, and then they are like uh they are like the, what is it called, the modern uh 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 what is it what is the terms, the slaver, yeah, the slaver, which is the,
The slave.
sorry, the slave, yeah, uh yeah, just a modern slave. Mm. And yeah, they just know how to work, and how to work and earn the money, but the money they earns is not enough for them to support the living. Yeah, maybe for this current moment, enough to support living. But if you look long term, after you bought the car, after you after you bought the house, and can you afford to lose a job? Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they are kind of like being stuck into the system. And you say they don't work hard? No, they work really hard. They try to keep pace with the mortgage, with the installments. They try to find they try to earn every single cent they are able to earn in order to uh pay the installment earlier. Yeah. So they try to pay off the loans, pay off the debt, and but it's difficult, and they are taking action. They work really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not talking about this uh all the people who are paying the mortgage, who are paying the car installment, are not smart. I'm not saying like that. I also not saying all people who still have job, yeah, still couldn't afford to lose a job, are not smart. No, this is not the case. We need we need some time to realize the result of smartness. Yeah. So maybe within 1 or 2 years you couldn't see the difference, but after 10 years, could you see a difference? After 20 years, could you see a difference? Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is something that I'm trying to say. Yeah. So mm, yeah, and like your point, smart is also important when you are learning something, when you are when you are uh in s- uh in college, in schools, and it is still important. Mm. Yeah, and my point could my point could be right. Your point also could be right. Yeah, because smart and take action and uh work hard need to uh need to do together. Both are the critical components to success. Mm.
Yeah.
And also, if you smart and then you work better, and then it actually incentivize and also it motivate you to spend greater effort on that. So the actions, uh, yeah. So initially you don't need to take too much effort to achieve something, and then so you start to like the thing, you start to like the feeling that you outperform other people, and then so after that you spend more, you spend more effort, you spend more efforts. Yeah, and we are, and also I agree the existence, the presence of talents. Yeah, some people have talents than other people in a certain area. Yeah, so I agree with that. Hmm. So okay, the whole point is both are important. Yeah, both of them are important. So that's how can we evaluate the case? How can we interpret this topic? How can we understand? How do we try to get some insight, try to gain some implications from this topic? What's the wrong way? What's the right way to do that? I think the wrong way is you compare the smarts versus the taking action.
Mm.
Yeah, this is the wrong way because they need to do in both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
both are important.
And so you just need you need to look at about the smarts. Yeah. So what is the benefit of smarts? Yeah. If you kind of like try to isolate the smarts, and then you can see about the knowledge, you can see about the wisdom you have right now compared to what's in your mind when you are in college, when you are in school. So do you think you become smarter or become less smarter? So it's not compared with other people, it's compared to yourself. You get what I mean?
Mm.
Mm. Yeah, for me, uh, okay, for me, I don't think I become less smarter. I don't think so. Uh, in college, when I was in college, and I think I'm smarter than I was in secondary school. I was in primary school because I learned more things. I learned more knowledge that probably able to probably applicable to reality. Yeah, probably can help me to earn money. And but it turns out after I graduate, most of the knowledge that I learned in university is just a theory. It couldn't really apply to reality. It couldn't just like grab and take grab and put. Yeah, it couldn't do that. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
So you still need to think in deep. You still need to figure out how to utilize your knowledge and apply to the reality. Yeah. So the knowledge you need to, so you have the process, which is you need to turn the knowledge into experience or turn the knowledge into the wisdoms. Yeah. And yeah, and like few years ago, I after I graduate, maybe 1 or 2 years ago, I feel actually I become less smarter. I become less smarter because uh, I start to forget the knowledge. Yeah, I start to forget knowledge, and I didn't learn that much knowledge compared to when I was college. Yeah, but this is a definition of smartness. Yeah, this is just a definition of smartness. If you think about, from a first principle, learn learns more does it necessarily good? Yeah, this is a question for you.
Mm. Learns more can be compared with learn what is important. Yeah, if you learn something that is isn't used by at least by you, then uh yeah, I think that is quite something like a waste of time.
Mm. Yeah, and also uh, when you learn a lot of theory and it's not applicable and it cannot help you maybe save more times or maybe like earn more money, maybe live happier, live easier, and the usefulness is very little. It's just very little. Maybe give you some happiness when you are learning, yeah, when you pursue the knowledge. And compared to if you learn something that are able to apply to the reality, And of course, maybe you couldn't get the instant feedback. Yeah, but after you apply, maybe 1 month later, 2 months later, 3 months later, 6 months, 12 months later, you can see the result. You can see the difference. One of the example, for example, we learn about the habits. We learn about how to form a habit, how to break a habit. This is also one of the things. Yeah, and it requires smartness because you need to understand. You need to understand the know why, the know how. Yeah,
Yeah.
you need to understand how or why habit is so important. Yeah, if you don't think habit is important, even though you know the know how, you know how to do it, you also won't do it. You also won't start to do. You won't start to change. Just like many people, if you ask them, is reading book important? They will say importance. But why they don't do? They are busy. They need to earn money. They don't have time. They have less energy on doing that. They feel sleepy. But they say reading books is important. Yeah. But the importance, if you put into a numeric number of importance, if you try to ask them to say out the numeric value of the importance, they will give a very low. They'll give a very low mark. Yeah. So when they say the importance, the idea, the concept of importance in their mind and in your mind is different. Yeah, it's not you two are not talking of the same thing. Yeah. Yeah. So uh yeah. So what I want to say is uh about the smartness. Yeah, about the smartness. So to me, the definition of smartness is not only learn fast and learn better in a shorter times, and also know uh how to learn, and also you need to know uh why you need to learn that. Yeah. And I also believe that the smartness is a skills, is an ability that we can cultivate, that we can become smarter and smarter. So it's not something like uh born with our genes, cannot be changed. I don't think is the case. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to summary my point, the first, you if you need to understand the question, understand the topic well, first you need to define the smart. Because just like the importance, people have different definition, people have different value, have different understanding about that. And when they say importance, maybe to you the value is not important. Yeah. So it's also same as the smartness. Yeah. And what is the definition of smartness and how important, and what's the value of the importance, and also so that you can you can uh, you can go to the next question. Same feeling in the third question, why?
Mm.
Yeah. So this is my sharing for today.
Yeah. So yeah, I think just now um yeah there is something lack in my smartness definition, right? I only talk about learn fast, uh maybe understand fast. Yeah, but lacking of the know why, is it correct? Just now you did you say know why?
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. So this know why is something like the uh uh I think this is an awareness, right? The awareness to know why you want to do something.
Mm. But just now you say you say you misunderstand, you confuse about the topic and about the definition of smartness, but is this a know why?
No, why? Yeah, it is one of it because it is it is something not in my definition.
But why is not or know what?
Know what?
Yeah,
Know what is know what is the knowledge, right?
it's knowledge. And what is the definition? Is definitions is a know why or know what?
Um, in the smart definition, yeah, it is about know what, know why. I think both both can be included.
Do you think know what is something binary thing, which is 0 or 1? They must they must have something correct. And there's only one answer.
Know what? Do you mean like no or don't know? One or zero?
Yeah, 1 or 0. So for example, like mathematics, 1 plus 1 equal to 2, and it cannot equal to 3.
Um, know what? It can be a person like he know a little but not that much, so it could be in between.
Mm, so yeah, so my question is, do you think know what is something binary things?
So that's a no.
What? No.
Yeah, yeah, it is not. It is not just one or zero.
Mm, yeah. So just now you say you confused about the definition of smartness, but is smartness only have one definition?
Uh, yeah, it's also a no.
Yeah, it's also no. So how can you say you confused about the definition of smartness? We're just not talking on the same thing. Yeah. And I spend
Mm,
time to to kind of like link my mind with your mind and let you understand my smartness. Otherwise, you are just talking your things. I'm just talking myself. We are not
mm,
on the same frequency.
mm. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, but of course, a different definition can lead to different conclusion, and different definition will have different problems.
Mm,
And you can choose a better definition, just like, uh, the framework of your thinking, of your way of doing things. Give you one example. For example, you say, uh, hmm, yeah, after you give birth your child, you need you'll need to spend more money, and then you will have no time to be with your your child, and then uh sometimes you also need to restrict your child to do something because you can't afford the losses. For example, if if your child want to get a girlfriend in school, and you're afraid that the teacher or the school will kind of like dismiss your child, and then he or she can go nowhere to uh he or she couldn't find next school. He or she couldn't find a way to give him or her a certificate, a living school certificate. So you worry about that. Mm. And then
yeah.
yeah, so this lead to a s- a set of way of doing things. Yeah, but if what if you have time, you retire earlier, you have time, you have money, yeah, and you can do homeschooling, then it lead to another way of doing things.
Mm,
Yeah, and what is the difference here is the difference here is the ability and the capability of nurturing and also give up a child. Some people, in some people's mind, the definition of give up a child and nurturing a child is first, your sperm is still active, your sperm is still healthy. Yeah, and second, you can find a girl to fuck. Yeah, and then the third is you have a job, so you can feed your child. You won't let them starve, you won't let them die, you can keep their survival. So people think the definition of give birth and nurturing a child is like this. Yeah. So, but different people have different definitions. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a better definitions. And in some circumstances, there is just much better definitions. Yeah. So it better than the old ones, the new one better than the old one at all circumstances, at all perspective. But also in some circumstances, you choosing a different definition actually means that you sacrifice some other things. For example, in my definition of give birth and nursing a child is I need to retire earlier. I need to I need to be freedom first. So I have the ability to give birth to give birth a baby. Yeah, so this is my definition, but I'm choosing a different way. For some people, this is a difficult this is a more difficult way. Yeah, because it actually means that uh, maybe you need to work harder, you need to like earn more money. Yeah, and also you will delay the progress. Yeah. So in this circumstance, which is I choosing the definition, this is just a choice. This is not a must thing to do. Just because when you uh when you try to gain some advantage in in other aspects, you lose you lose something and you sacrifice something in another aspect, in another perspective. Yeah.
Yeah.
But uh this is when you look at the individual definition. But how about all of the definition in your mind? Yeah, so you have to come out a thinking method. You have to come out a system to control all the definition in your mind and adjust them to fit of the framework. Yeah, to fit in the framework. So uh, when the coin tossed into head, you know how to do, and when the coin tossed into the tail, you also know how to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that means you have a more comprehensive mind to deal with in real life. Yeah. And you also can say this requires smartness. Yeah, it also requires efforts. It requires taking action to figure out to do self reflections.
Yeah.
Okay, so anything else want to add in?
No.
Okay, so that's all for our today conversation. How do you feel? Did you enjoy the conversations? Please tell us what you think of our conversation. And we are not native speakers. If you found any vocabulary mistake that we made, please also comment to let us know. Because we want to learn more and improve ourselves. Remember to like and subscribe to us. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.